Hey guys, me Scott here. Welcome to another episode of Ride Along. We got Bman Sam,
what up?
Title Kid, King of the Segs. Yeah. So yeah, let's just get right into it because apparently there's a lot of wrestling talk that we just had off camera.
Yeah, shocker, huh? It's always the good conversations that happen off camera.
It's actually really good. I know, but let's finish our conversation.
I don't know what we left off.
AEW and Ring of Honor.
Okay, yes. This is what's insulting to this. And they're very insulting. That WWE sits there and says, no independent show is competition to us. I said, what? Are we basing this off talent? Okay, yes, Roman Reigns, big WWE superstar, but put him against anybody in AEW, he's not winning. Facts. Darby Allin would beat him up. Okay, maybe not Darby Allin. That's
bad example.
That's a poor example. You know what? Will Hobbs will fuck him up.
Will Hobbs? Yeah.
Will Hobbs. Sorry, I didn't know if you guys were on the channel. I apologize in advance.
What? Sorry?
I didn't know if you guys were on the channel.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, so yeah.
We've said a lot worse on this channel than swearing, right, Bman?
Oh yeah.
So yes, Will Hobbs.
This is a rated R channel.
Not even Will Hobbs. Freaking Ricky Starks will run. Hook will run through Roman Reigns.
Probably MJF too.
Oh, MJF. Oh no, okay.
Yeah.
That would be a good match, but I would think Roman Reigns would win that. I would. Maybe.
Well, Orange Cassidy. There you go. There's no one.
Oh God, don't get me started on Orange Cassidy.
No, Orange Cassidy. It would be like Orange Cassidy versus Mio. It would be a squash match. no disrespect, but Orange Cassidy can literally go to WWE and he can be the greatest crowd pop ever.
Do you think? I've heard stories that Mox's contract's coming up. You think he's going to re-sign with AEW or he's going to go back to WWE?
Not going back to
He's
WWE.
definitely not, but I feel like I would think he would. I think he wouldn't resign, but he would still be a part of WWE as a prospect.
No, I don't think they'd let him do that though. Like join be with both companies.
You know how many superstars have those? You know how many wrestlers have those contracts?
Yeah, but the main reason he wanted to go to AEW, I think, is because they would let him work independence, whereas WWE wouldn't.
No, exactly.
So if WWE's not going to let him work independence, they're certainly not going to let him work for their quote unquote biggest competition.
No, I didn't say WWE. I think he'll resign with AEW.
Yeah.
He's not going to go back.
No, well, maybe one day he will, but yeah, I don't think it's going to be anytime soon.
After hearing the explanation to why, I still don't understand why Cody Rhodes resigned. We went back to the...
Because it's all about the money.
Yes, but it didn't make sense. Dude.
It doesn't make sense because, you start us at points and then they didn't like them.
I know, but you know what?
Not even that.
And then he signed with AEW and made the company of AEW.
But you know what? Money talks. Or maybe he's secretly spying to try to recruit brand new. Or you know what could happen? What if he's in the company and he ends up buying WWE and then they merge with AEW?
They'd never let it happen.
They won't.
He's like a wrestling spy.
That would never... Do you know how much WWE has all together is worth?
I know.
The number is... You can't even say the number.
Yeah.
Nobody... Well, maybe Donald Trump. Maybe actually legitimately...
Maybe he's secretly there.
Careful, you get B-Sket's channel banned just for saying that name.
Sorry.
Well...
I'm partially kidding.
That as a compliment for anybody Donald Trump could possibly.
Here's another thing, though. Now,
maybe Tony Khan. Maybe if
this
Tony
makes
Khan,
a lot more sense. What if he joined to try to recruit more and more talent?
Well, it's not that hard. You know, look how many people who left WWE went to AEW on their own after the 90-day no compete.
I wish he did like an invasion angle. You know, he actually came over with like a bunch of them.
For most of them, it wasn't actually like their own, because they got released, right? So it wasn't exactly their own volition.
Yeah.
Yeah, but most of them, the contract was actually expiring when they went over to AEW instead.
Exactly.
Like, look at Miro. He didn't get released. His contract was just up and he went over.
Where is he, man? Like, that's what I want to know. Where is he right now?
Apparently, like, and this is funny because it's like I'm seeing these posts from this random YouTuber. I forget his name offhand, but like he was saying like people were being kind of hypocrites about like between AEW and WWE. People were saying like for guys like Miro, it's like, oh, he's just waiting until something better creative comes along or whatever. But with WWE guys that have been doing nothing for a long time, oh, they're being buried, they're being forgotten about. They're, you know, it's kind of like a hypocrite thing. But I don't know.
It's like it's like the same thing like Braun Strowman. He's in a new different wrestling company.
Yeah, it's called Control Your Narrative.
Yeah.
I give EC3 that credit for that. Like this. Do you okay? Remember when NXT Takeover was the highlights? I can name a dozen NXT Takeover matches that were the highlight of the weekend.
Yeah.
Pete Dunne versus Walter one of my favorite matches. Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bate.
Yeah.
When Pete Dunne captured the title.
Yeah, that was a stellar match.
That match.
Incredible match.
Yeah.
DIY versus the Revival versus AOP was another.
Wasn't that here in Toronto?
It wasn't a triple threat though. It was a 2 out of 3 falls.
That was here in Toronto.
Yeah, that match was fucking stellar.
Yeah.
Then, not to mention the ladder match with AOP versus DIY, where Ciampa tore his ACL in that match. By the way.
Well, no, he was already injured.
Yeah.
But he worked the match, and then he had to go away, but they still started the angle between him and Gargano.
Which was a fantastic feud.
That was fucking... The only thing that sucked about it was the fact that Ciampa kept getting injured at the worst time. Because, like, the first time, like, okay, whatever. But then it happened the second time, right as it was about to reach his apex, and they were going to finally blow it off. And then Vince McMahon just had to have him come up and work all that extra time. And then he got injured again, so they had to, and then when they finally had their blow-off, it was that cinematic match during the whole pandemic.
Yeah.
Like, even all Walter's matches with the NXT UK, and for his title, all his matches were good. Ilya Dragunov was a great match. And he had, like, I felt like NXT and WWE back then, when you had the two split brands, and they had their own set pay-per-views, and NXT could compete with AEW now. Not as, like, on the same level, but, like, slightly there.
I think that was the mistake, too, was when they tried to have NXT compete with AEW. Because remember, they moved to USA or whatever, and they moved to the same time slot as AEW. They tried to have them compete with them, and then that was NXT's downfall, I think.
No, NXT's downfall is when Vince McMahon took over.
Yeah, and he took over because NXT lost the war against AEW. That's what I'm saying. If it weren't for that, if they had kept NXT on Tuesdays, then you know, they didn't want to compete with AEW. Then NXT would probably still be. I don't think it would be like, it has to come down eventually. So maybe it would do that, but I don't think it would be anywhere near as bad as it is now. I mean, it's still decent compared to Raw and SmackDown, but it's not nearly as good as it was.
My question is, why did the NXT title switch hands so many times in the last months?
That's WWE booking for you.
Like, Samoa Joe went from Samoa Joe to Karrion Kross could have actually carried them
went
as
from
a champion.
Yeah, went from Cross to Joe. Joe got injured again, and then they released him.
Went to Champ.
And he got Ciampa won it, and then he dropped it to Breaker.
Breaker dropped it
to Ziggler.
Ziggler dropped it
Back to Breaker. And now he's feuding with Joe Gacy.
For a while, I did not know that was Rick Steiner's son.
Really?
Yeah, that's right.
I could tell from day one that was Rick Steiner's son.
I was like, huh? I was like, he's Rick.
I could too.
No, because you know how old Rick is. You don't think he has a kid that young.
Well, I mean, it's not like, guys can have kids well into, because our friend John, his father's in his 70s and he's only 26, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, so guys can have kids late, you know.
So I was like, shit. I was like, oh, that explains it. I was like, Rick Steiner's kid? Oh. So, fun fact, I'm gonna drop a name for people and see if y'all are real wrestling fans. So I know y'all don't follow Impact like that. So a random wrestler showed up on Impact and challenged Josh Alexander.
I know who Josh Alexander is.
But the name is nobody in the world you would have thought of, and I'm gonna say it. Charlie Haas.
Oh, damn.
Of course we know Charlie Haas.
Yeah, we know Charlie Haas is, yeah. World's greatest tag team.
When I was like, Charlie, what?
Someone told me that he's doing drugs now.
He looks like he's doing drugs.
He is. Eli told me. My friend.
Like
Scatterboy.
Hella, like, bro, he let himself go.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I look at him.
He does meth it.
Oh, my God.
I was like, dude, what happened?
Yeah.
Like, you had it all. You're wrestling on the indie circuit.
Yeah. He was in good shape. I think he was an Olympic athlete at one point. I don't know if that's true.
So,
hey man, it's sad to see that.
One fact, FTR is the hottest tag team in professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, do you think Bret Hart's gonna sign with AEW?
Maybe.
Probably.
Because apparently he's coming out he's gonna be their manager for a match or something.
He already made an appearance like a year or two ago.
He presented the title.
Yeah.
The title match.
And they're doing the Owen Hart thing there now.
Yeah, there's that too.
Finally, after so long, it's getting recognized.
I know.
It sucks because of the situation that you will never be inducted into the Hall of Fame due to the fact of his wife, which I can understand from her point.
Yeah.
I totally understand. And it's not right, but he belongs in some form of Hall of Fame.
Well, it's like I think you've even said it last time. Like the loophole is they can induct the Hart Foundation, right?
But they did that. Though.
But they wouldn't.
Is it the original incarnation or the one with Brian Pillman
It's
in
the
it?
original incarnation.
Yeah, but there's that second one, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, but it would kind of be because I have a feeling if NWO got inducted, I have a feeling like it would be like the Click would get inducted.
Yeah, probably.
And like, you see how repetitive it would be.
Well, I mean, they got to fill out the class every year somehow, right?
What are you gonna do? Put NW Wolfpack and NW whatever in the like have each different clicks in it? No, come on.
Yeah. What about the LW?
Oh yeah.
Or the OWN? You know, One Warrior Nation. I know it is ridiculous. It does get a little repetitive and a little redundant, but I mean, you know, they got to fill out that class somehow every year, right?
This is why CM Punk said when he came back, he said in 2007, 2006, this is when he had the whole thing with Ring of Honor, and he had the contract, and he had the world title, and he signed his WWE contract on live Ring of Honor television. And he would have dropped the belt.
Yeah, I think that was 05, yeah.
Yep. And he said right then, I left professional wrestling. And I was just like, oh, he dissed. He hella dissed.
You think that's why they were gonna just gonna release him after he spent all that time in developmental?
WWE
Well, yeah, because they didn't have any competition anymore.
Minus NXT. Minus NXT.
That's because they didn't have competition anymore. Like TNA was now TNA might have come close a few times, but they weren't real. They weren't legit.
TNA was pretty damn good during those time periods.
It was, but it wasn't anywhere close to being. I don't think anywhere close. And I was a TNA fan back then.
X Division match was better than any type of minus tag team and heavyweight and middleweight. But like, they're not even their tag team division kept up with WWE's tag team division. Like, you had LAX, you had Motor City Machine Guns, you had Beer Money, you had
MCM were my team back in the day. I loved their matches.
Boys. You had Team 3D.
Yeah, well, semantics.
Team 3D, Dudley.
Yeah.
Ooh, a Mandarin out here in Oshawa.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, TNA lost when AJ Styles left.
Yeah, well, that was their fault.
Styles, Joe.
Because Dixie Carter was offering him a shitty ass contract. I'm like,
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that was their fault.
AJ Styles is literally your John Cena of the mid 2000s. Literally your John Cena. This man can wrestle with anybody in that company and have a 5-star match.
Yeah, AJ Styles, my boy, man. I've been a huge fan of him, especially since like when he did that heel turn back in '09, and he joined Ric Flair. And then they had the Fortune 4 stable. That was my favorite back in the day.
I have an autographed pair of his gloves at my house.
Nice.
I was like, dude, he's like, I know you're a fan. I'm like, dude, no, I'm a fan from you since like your TNA days. Like you were the king, like to me you're the king of X Division. And he was like, you watch it? I'm like, yeah, Ultimate X. That was my favorite match.
That was a good match.
Those were great matches.
Like your matches with Joe and Daniels, like classics.
Oh, that match put the three of them on the map.
And Daniel, and you gotta understand, Christopher Daniels is no joke. This guy is a legend. One of the founding fathers of Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I remember. Did you go to the TNA show that came here?
The house show, I did.
I know you did, but I was asking.
I didn't.
No, it's pretty good. It was. I remember me and this one guy were like getting into it with Scott Steiner. It was so funny. We were both yelling at him.
Oh, that was you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Were you front row?
I was like third row, I think. Yeah, me and this guy were yelling at Scott Steiner. It was funny.
And then Stacey.
Oh man.
She was in TNA, really?
No, she wasn't in TNA.
No, I was thinking of Scott and Stacey Keith.
Yeah, back in 03.
Oh, yeah.
Her legs.
She still looks good.
Even Tori still looks good. Tori Wilson.
She's a fitness trainer now. But yeah, any more wrestling talk? A lot of talk this week. I really like her conversation.
Well, I got a question.
Question.
Who do you think's gonna? Because we still don't know yet. Who do you think's gonna be next in line to challenge Roman Reigns?
So that was leaked, and even though it hasn't been advertised, but Roman Reigns is scheduled to fight at Backlash, and as far as going into WrestleMania Backlash, it is set to be Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah, see, I kind of figured.
Which, like, they ruined Shinsuke so bad.
Don't get me started.
So, this guy is, like, Shinsuke on Indies was one of my favorite, the king of freaking strong style. I'll admit Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura at NXT was an amazing.
That was the original. That was the original Fight Forever chant. Now they do it almost every match. Like every match that's like even remotely good, they always chant "Fight Forever." Like, come on, guys, that's getting a little old.
I love the fact that we originated here in Toronto the 10 chant.
Oh.
Oh, there's this guy on YouTube, Christian Miracle. He hates that.
Dylan's there.
You all saw NXT Takeover. Was it him against Brock?
Oh, look, another DK.
Yeah.
That's always good to know.
Yeah, there's an Arby's. There's your
I love
favorite
Arby's.
restaurant.
I don't.
No, I'm just saying that's his favorite place.
Oh, hey, Alex. On 420,
No, I don't want to hear it.
you know what I
hate
tagged you in
I
a
hate
post
you
about
for
Pizza
it.
Pizza.
I
Yeah,
hate you for it.
I did it on purpose too.
You know the funniest thing is I got a message like a day later and my friend tagged me. I'm like, why the fuck do you send me this?
I tagged you on purpose.
That shit tastes so garbage. That is low graded, crack-headed, no offense, level pizza. Because you gotta be on cracked, no offense to Shayla or Frosty. Like, you gotta be on crack to eat that shit.
Well, hey, everybody's taste bud's different, right?
It's like you like shit in your mouth, you might as well eat that.
Oh my god. That's
God.
But yeah, so
Let's see. And
Sorry.
anybody who hasn't seen me outside about a pizza.
any more wrestling talk? Or-
Yeah, I was gonna say just this one last thing.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
So as you guys know, they've unified the Universal WWE Title, and now Roman Reigns is the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. Yeah, I know, everybody did. But now they're going to unify the tag titles at Backlash, and the Usos are more than likely going to win that. But we're more on that closer to the event, which is probably our next. I think it's our next ride along too, so that works out pretty well.
No, it's next weekend, isn't it? Oh no,
it's
it
the
is
week
2 weeks
after.
away. Yes,
Yeah.
you're right. Perfect. So then we can do
It's
a
perfect timing.
Whoever's coming in.
So the question I have to you guys is unifying the titles a good thing, and should they unify as many as they can?
Yes, but make the each division like interesting again. If you're gonna do that, like make actual legitimate contenders. Like honestly, Vince has to know he's shitting the bed.
Yeah.
You're banking on Austin Theory. Seriously, this is the same dude who got tossed around like a little bitch in like 10 seconds by Brock Lesnar in an elimination chamber.
Well, to be fair, that's Brock Lesnar.
To be fair, put him against Lance Archer in AEW. See what happens.
He's the new U.S. champion now, too, by the way.
He won the title again.
Theory, yeah, he's the new U.S. champion.
I thought you meant IWGP. Okay, yes, I know about that.
Yeah.
But why do this to Finn? Like the first ever Universal.
See, I would have preferred.
This is the guy who founded the most popular, baddest club in professional wrestling right now, in Bullet Club.
Yeah, but the problem with that is that Vince McMahon doesn't give a rat's ass about what you did anywhere else.
He was a great NXT champion for his first run.
Yeah, I mean, he reinvigorated himself when he went back down, but then he comes back up, and now they got. See, I was kind of hoping they'd have it to where AJ would team up with Finn to take on Priest at Edge, but I don't think that's happening. I think they're just gonna have AJ versus Priest, and then he's gonna get his rematch with Edge next month or something.
All right, following question, and this is at some point, because this is gonna have to end, because everybody's gonna eventually get sick of it. And I have a feeling we're all going to say the same person. Do you think it's going to take the titles off of Roman Reigns?
Well, it depends. Are they going to do it to where we have to see how things are going to play out? Because right now he still has both titles, but I don't know if they're going to actually unify them and give him a new belt, or if it's just going to be like a situation where. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be a situation where, because like remember when Seth Rollins was dual US and WWE champions, he defended both titles separately, right? So if that's gonna be the case,
no, I think it's just gonna be defended once, because if it was, it would have been advertised belt for belt.
Well, they did. They unified the titles at WrestleMania,
Yeah,
right?
But like in the context is different, because if it's unified, it's one. If it was belt for belt, you would have to. That's why it was called Becky Two Belts, right?
That's true.
She had to defend it twice.
That's true. Yeah, she didn't unify the belts.
Exactly. So I have a feeling the Universal title is going to go away, and it's just going to be called. They're just going to go with the WWE title.
Well, see, I don't know about that. I think maybe the WWE title is going to go away because they're calling him the undisputed Universal Champion.
But,
Yeah,
but it would have to also include the brand name. Like, you know what I'm saying? Every world title in every profession is boxing world champion, the IWGP world champion, AEW world champion. You know what I'm saying? It's the name kind of carries weight to the title.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're calling him undisputed WWE Universal Champion.
Okay, sorry, I didn't get that.
Yeah,
My mistake.
Yeah, but the thing is, when he's holding 2 belts or whatever, like they're trying to go back in the day or something.
Well, it's
unified champion, and then they had it all in one show, and then they reunified it, and then they okay, well, let's just go SmackDown with the title or Raw with the title.
yeah.
Get it done, man.
Well, even though they haven't done it right away, there's still a possibility that they will just unify.
I don't think they're gonna unify it. I think they're just gonna keep it as 2 belts.
Well, yeah. I mean, there have been times in the past when they unified both titles where they've had them holding both titles for a while, and then they eventually just unify them and give them a new belt. So I don't know if that's what they're gonna do this time. If they do, ideally Cody Rhodes wins the belt off of Roman.
That's actually real shit.
That's
I forgot about that.
That's the ideal situation, but what's probably going to happen is Roman's going to hold it until WrestleMania 39, then The Rock takes it off of him.
That could be something.
I was gonna say true, but then now that you mentioned Cody, it would probably be Cody.
Well, see, Drew's a good idea too, especially since they're going to Wales. See, that would be like dream scenario, but if I know WWE, best case scenario for Drew McIntyre, they're going to either have him fighting Sheamus or Walter at the Wales show.
You see, this is what I'm mad, because we will never get to see Walter versus Brock Lesnar. Never. Do you know how much weight that is? A box office dream match.
Yeah, well, it is, but knowing WWE, they're going to fuck it up and have Lesnar beat Walter in like one move.
Like, okay.
Gonna hit him with like 3 Germans and F5. Go. That's it. See you, folks.
Okay. See, this is the thing that pisses me off. This is the one thing why I like about AEW. They'll have their swanky finishes, but 85% of the time, it's clean finishes.
Yep.
It'll be a clean finish. It just won't be. It just won't last very long.
No, exactly. But in it won't. But like, you know that that match is finished, it's setting up another match or another series. They're jumping into another thing. WWE is you're gonna see the same shit next week. It's like you basically threw on the recording and edited a little to make it sound like it was not the same shit.
Yeah, that's the problem with WWE. They give us rematches we don't want to see, and they don't give us rematches we do want to see. Like Lashley Lesnar. I mean, I would have loved to see a rematch. But
I would have loved to see that clean.
Yeah,
honestly,
and then
I would have felt like Brock Lesnar would have beat him.
The thing is, they're throwing guys in the same match and every fucking time. Every same guy.
Okay.
Come on, man.
Or Brock, even I like this because, and this is funny, because Friday, CM Punk returns, right? Saturday, SummerSlam happens. Sorry, whenever SummerSlam happens.
that's July 30th. Yeah.
Becky Lynch returns. Brock Lesnar shows up, and immediately we're like, oh, here we go.
Oh, you're talking
again.
about last year. Okay.
Yeah. We're like, oh, here we go again. Another Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns from WrestleMania.
Yeah, that was pretty obvious.
I was like,
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, fire your writers.
Like, give it
Please.
better competitors.
Fire your writers. All of them. Sorry,
Well, it's-
for me, but you have to go.
I don't know if it's necessarily. I know you haven't been here, but we've had this conversation before. I don't know if it's necessarily the writers, because yes, sometimes more often than not they probably don't churn out their best work. But you know why that is because more than half the time they write whatever, and then like literally before the show starts, Vince rips it all off. It's like, write it again, damn it. You know? Thanks. But that's what it is, and then they just don't care, because after so many times, like, no matter how passionate you are, if that keeps happening to you time after time after time, you're just like, fuck it, I'll just churn out the same shit every week. I still get paid. So,
you know the insulting thing? Vince had a chance to buy Ring of Honor, and he didn't.
well, it's probably for the best.
Thank God, because it would have been a clusterfuck. Legends like Taker, Stone Cold, Rock, Jericho, Hogan, Hardy Boys, Dudleys, Edge Christian, APA. God damn it, you got a freaking Samoan in a fucking gig shaking his ass in a nigga's face and it's entertaining as shit.
Yeah, Rikishi.
Yeah.
And it's still funny to this day.
Speaking of which, 2K22, the first DLC pack's coming out next week.
Nice.
Got Rikishi, Yokozuna,
Okay,
Yeah,
well, how do you not know
Umaga.
it's not like 20? Because 20 was horrible.
It was. Like, there
Well,
was,
2K22 is actually pretty good, and they've been doing a shit ton of patches. Like every.
Yeah, but the thing is, for 20, like, you were doing, like, zombie matches, whatever the DLC was, and apparently, you do a certain move or something in the ring, it freezes.
Yeah.
It's not even that your shit was glitchy.
That too.
You know the funniest thing? So, I don't know if y'all know the company Zoots or Zoots.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Ukes, yeah.
Zoots. They were the sole responsibility for the graphics for the game. 2K cut the deal with Ukes. So, the 2K is to blame for the glitches in 2K20 because they cut
Over
the
near
deal.
Boonville.
Which was the dumbest thing you could have ever done. Because you were trying to make it like NBA, NHL. You were trying to make it like all these other games. No. It wasn't going to work.
That was the same thing that happened with WWE 2K18.
2K19 wasn't that bad.
With 2K18, they did that with the Switch.
Okay, that's
Oh yeah, that was bad. Yeah.
The fucking gameplay was like so fucking slow with the Switch.
Why would you play it on a Switch, though? That's your fault. If you played on a Switch, that's your fault. Nobody told you to play it on a Switch.
He's got a valid
Like,
point.
I'm glad I paid only $12 for the damn thing, but it's so fucking slow.
2K20 was as bad as when TNA put out their video game.
Oh,
And
yeah, back
oh
on
my,
6.
that was
06, 07.
horrendous. And then everybody's entrance theme had their theme from the game playing. And I was just like, you guys, oh my god, this game is horrible.
Okay, so let me just go back real quick, and then we'll end this off. So, title unification, good thing or bad thing?
Bad thing. There should be separate titles for separate brands. I've said it since the start.
I'm gonna say it. The way things are now, it's kind of a good thing, but I just hope that once they unify the ones they're unifying now, maybe. Like, I'd honestly get rid of the women's tag team titles personally, because I mean nobody really cares about them.
So here's my thing. I'm very old school in this way. I liked when it was Raw and SmackDown and NXT, whatever, and they were their own brands and they had their GMs. Run it like a professional, exactly. Run it like a sports brand. Now here's where I would make a few updates. Every year you have your draft. Okay, we get that. But you could also have some storylines. Hey, Randy Orton's contract's up. Randy Orton could say, hey, I'm a free agent. Where should I go? And then SmackDown will be like, come sign with us. And then Randy Orton has officially signed to this brand. And also for the brand, Survivor Series is only when they face off against each other. I like it when it's individual brands. And now, as for the women tag team titles, there should be one for Raw and one for SmackDown. One woman's title on Raw, singles and tag team, and one on SmackDown.
But they don't care about the single. They don't care about the tag team titles they have now.
I'm saying this is how it should be. I'm not saying that it is. It's if I was running the WWE And then there's to be the NXT women's and tag team, the NXT UK women's and tag team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
That's how it should be, but it's not.
So for me personally, I'll just finish off my thought
Sure,
here.
yeah.
I think it's okay. Like I kind of like the idea of just one top champion and one tag team champions, but keep the mid card titles obviously, and then one women's champion, and I guess one women's tag team champion, and then that's good. I think personally.
I agree with Brandon.
Thank you.
Sorry, this guy.
It's okay.
But make
They should be their separate brands. Exactly.
But no, that's not what I was going to say. But make every division.
You can't even see where I'm going.
Maybe you don't drive out in the boonies every time.
Because I didn't know where the hell we'd end up.
Sorry, keep going.
Make every division work. You see how and I keep referring to AEW. Every AEW division is worth watching. Once you know if they get right with the TNT title, you know they're working on that. But every division from tag team and all the tag teams you want to see are in the division. Make every division possible. But I agree, have that one champion, the top dog. You know, if you're going with Roman Reigns, actually have actual contenders.
Oh,
like put all your big guys like Roman Reigns, like one by one, like how Adam Page has challenger after challenger, and he goes into storylines with them for like a couple weeks before he has the match, and they're interested. Do that. You do that, you're gonna have more fans tuning in, left, right, and center.
That's true. So Dougie, what do you think?
I totally agree on what he said. I totally agree. So pretty much, yeah. So every brand should have like a main champion.
So everyone agrees with me.
Like not every brand, like one champion, and then everybody like all the top guys go at it.
So you want one champion or one champion for each brand?
Like one main champion, and then you know like the tag titles like I'm not rooting up the tag titles and whatnot. I think they're going back to like the back in like 07 or 08, and they had unified tag team champions, whatever they want to call it. Where they only had like the gold, silver, the goldish belts, those black belts. Like I don't like for me, like WWE per se, like I don't know, like I barely watch WWE nowadays because they're throwing like people, like they're throwing the same guys against the same people, like every damn week or every damn pay-per-view. It's like, come on, like give somebody else a better chance.
I'm not saying AEW does it, but AEW does it where like you go blind seeing it again because they still put on a good match.
Exactly.
It's the quality of the matches that people are into. Nobody gives a shit about a storyline. It's about the matches. If you see like Kenny Omega versus Shusuke Okada, every time those guys stepped in the ring together, it was a 5-star match.
5-star, yeah.
And I agree. If you have not seen that match,
Never disagree. Always
like,
5-star.
if you guys are into heavy wrestling, watch all their matches.
5-star.
5-star.
Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns had one 5-star match, and that was it.
What?
One.
Who?
One 5-star match.
Who was that against?
But yet, that was against Rollins.
Really?
Not the second time Rollins, the first time Rollins.
When he returned? Or like, was this when Rollins was champion, or was this
Rollins was his main.
like Royal Rumble this year?
No, not that one. Like the first time they ever had a match together, and Reigns couldn't beat Rollins. Reigns never pinned Rollins.
Not until like week
Money in the Bank 2016.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I'd call that a 5-star match though.
But it was like a really, really, really high up there match.
I loved the ending when Ambrose cashed in though. That's for
wow,
sure.
we're in his Uncle Cat world.
But the thing is, you'll never see. Like I'm sorry. Like I'm sorry, but you'll never see like Reigns in like any other matches because they're all gonna be like squash matches or even like, oh okay, well, same matches every fucking pay-per-view, okay.
No, why? Because
And then look what they had. They had Paul Heyman as his sidekick, and then it got switched over to Brock Lesnar, and then it got switched back to Paul Heyman, and it got switched back to Reigns. It's like, come on, WWE.
Well, that's what Heyman does though.
like, this is the godfather of ECW. The guy who made like us want to bash each other through with chairs. This is the same man that made us put people through tables when we were kids. This is the godfather of the next to game-changing wrestling promotion, which is like anybody who watched Nick Cage. Yeah, that dude is nasty.
Yeah, and then they had the freaking Cruiserweight title for a little while there on 205 Live.
See,
that was okay, but it wasn't the greatest.
I would say the best match ever on that show was Kota Ibushi versus Cedric Alexander.
Oh, that was a great match.
That was a great match. Even though Cedric lost, but that was a great match. I was kind of mad Cedric lost because I don't know Cedric.
And then they changed the name of the damn championship now.
Well, it's defunct now. They merged it with the North American title. See, that was another unification match they had.
And then now they have like so-called the Hardcore Championship, the 24/7.
I'm just
Like
glad.
that was great, having R-Truth winning like 40 times, but yet we haven't seen that title yet since.
What are you talking about? They just had it at the Raw wedding.
It was on Raw.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah. But we still haven't seen it for a long time up until then.
That's what I wanted to say. Can we please stop with these fucking weddings on WWE?
I know, right?
It's annoying. We expected somebody's gonna get beat up, somebody's gonna get thrown into a cage. It's like
Or crap dumped on them.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Like we had weddings and we had like shit in the ring, like you know, we had like two guys or a guy and a woman going at it in the ring. So we've had it all.
Like
WWE's had it all.
Even
Man.
WWE and E Network got mad at Renee Young and John Moxley for not fucking doing their wedding on television.
Really?
They were so mad about it. They got married privately.
Well, I mean, that's their prerogative.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then you had Edge and freaking Vicky Guerrero having a wedding on fucking.
That was funny.
Honestly, I would have never thought Edge and Beth Phoenix, considering Edge was fucking Lita.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think
Bring the fucking third ring in.
Never
in a
thought
fucking,
Edge and Beth.
that wasn't even real.
By the way, I don't know if y'all know this. This was a newsflash. I believe Carmella and
Corey Graves, yeah, they got married. Alexa Bliss got married to somebody.
All in the same weekend.
Yeah, Alexa Bliss got married to somebody. Some
Yeah,
dude,
to
I
a
can't
rock
remember.
star.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's getting married.
I did not know Alexa Bliss was adopted.
I didn't know that either.
Look at her parents. They look like our age.
Really, eh? Yeah. Anyway, so I guess that pretty much wraps things up unless anybody else.
How about the wrestling talk?
Yeah.
That was the longest wrestling talk we've ever had. I don't even know where we are now. All I know is
Shocker.
Yeah, I heard that.
all I know is I keep going straight, so we have to keep going that way to go back. That much I know.
At what point are you going to turn around?
Well,
When we end the fucking ride along, so keep on talking and we'll keep driving.
we're probably just past Bowmanville, probably.
No,
Way
we're
past Bowmanville
buddy.
now.
We just passed Uncle Cat World. We might be in Montreal pretty fucking
Okay,
soon.
no, actually, yeah, turn the car around.
I'm not turning it around until we end ride along, man. This isn't
entertain-
a
Okay. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see y'all next week.
no. I still have stuff to talk about. I said at the beginning. Wow.
Well, then let's do it. Get it.
Well, I'm trying, but you guys kept talking wrestling. So you wanted the freestyle, right?
Let's get a separate video.
So I promised the freestyle on tonight's ride along, and it's my ride along. So
I'm the co-host.
Do you want a freestyle on the ride along, Alex? You can do two.
I was not prepared for that at that moment.
You saw my video today, and you said you were going to do it.
My phone doesn't work out here, so I don't even know where we are.
Like, I saw that when I skimmed through it a little bit
Now
at the end.
So now there's no more.
I said, hey, DJ King of the Six. I was like, hey, all right. Which I got to promote that. I will promote that. I also have that link in my DM, so I will promote that tonight.
Okay.
I would need my phone to connect.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get it to connect out here.
Okay.
Can you just rap without a beat?
No.
Okay, so now for the promotions part. So we have a lot of people who just dropped some brand new songs. Frosty, Troublemaker, and King Shaggy. They just dropped Alien Vibes. It's on Frosty's YouTube. King Shaggy just also dropped a song. It's on his YouTube. I'm trying to think who else has dropped. A lot of people have been dropping songs lately on this road.
Trouble did drop one too.
You said that already.
So,
No, by itself, I said.
I don't think so, but let's not get into another debate because I'll just keep driving. Anyways, but yeah, guys. So, do you have any updates, Bman?
Nope.
I'm trying to think if I have any updates. Not really. You know, we got next ride along should be our predictions video in 2 weeks. So yeah, guys. All this one was pretty much about wrestling. So, anyways,
Well,
guys.
there's a lot to talk about.
There's a lot to talk about. Anyways, guys, we are gonna cut it here. Have a great rest of your night, week. Peace.